Shine with Kendall Lanice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine with Kendall Lanice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited about today's show. Thank you for tuning in to Shine. Thank you for shining with me. I'm here every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. I am Kendall Lanice. I go by the name of Lady Motivator. I'm a transformational life coach, speaker, and author. But most importantly, I'm a motivator of all people, especially women. I love to lift women. I love to support women and push women forward. That is one of my main purposes and goal in life. So again, I am pleased to be with you this evening with my wonderful guest who we will meet shortly. But at first, I want to ask everyone, did you have a good week? Have you been having a great week thus far? I hope so. I hope you are doing all of the things that you want to do in life and you're not afraid to jump out there and just really live your best life. That's what's important. That's what's necessary in order to live a happy and whole life. All right. So if this is your first time tuning in to Shine, welcome. Please tell a friend about Shine. We are played where all podcasts are played. Spreaker, Apple, Google, Spotify, and much more. Look for Shine with Kendall Lanice. All right. As I stated, I am so excited about tonight's show. It's been a long time in the making. My guest is an awesome songwriter and songstress. Not only can she reach the number one spot, she can also reach the heart of people everywhere. That's right. I am pleased to have her on Shine tonight, as we have been cyber besties for like close to a decade. This is my first time actually speaking to her, and I'm glad that the first time is on Shine, my podcast. My kids are excited. My daughter is coming into the room right now, and I was just talking to Arika a little earlier. But it's my pleasure to see Arika's progress in song and in womanhood over the years. I'm honored to introduce or reintroduce Miss Arika Kane to everyone. And I know a lot of people might say, well, who is Arika Kane? That name sounds familiar, and a lot of people know that name from maybe All My Children, but we'll get into that. That's not the Arika Kane we have here. So I'm going to play one of her, I don't want to say most famous songs or most popular songs, but I'm going to play a song by her before I introduce her. This is something a little different, but I want you to hear this song. I want you to get a feel of this song, and maybe it might jog your memory. If you don't know who she is, you might hear the song and say, okay, I know that song. But if you're a fan like me, you'll just jam right now to hear with me. We'll be right back.
So hurry up and come through. Baby, I need it gets lonely. It's so hard to find a good man to give you back the love that you give him. But I found that one, and I'm holding on, and I need your love, so hurry up. Baby, I need you here with me, or else I'd rather be lonely. No one can hold me like you do, please me like you do. There's no one else but you, no. Baby, I need you here with me, or else I'd rather be lonely, no. You're the only one who can truly understand my heart. You're the only that I want in my life, oh boy. I just need you here with me. There's nowhere I'd rather be, and I just wanna feel you here, holding, kissing, loving me. Nobody can make me feel the way you do. Nobody can make me feel the way you do. Baby, I need you here with me, or else I'd rather be lonely. Holding, kissing, no one can hold me like you do, please me like you do. There's no one else but you, no. So hurry up. Baby, I need you here with me, or else I'd rather be lonely, no. Just wanna feel you here, truly understand my heart. Only you. No one can hold me like you do, please me like you do. There's no one else but you, no. Baby, I need you here with me, or else I'd rather be lonely, no. Holding, kissing, you're the only one me, truly understand my heart. Baby, I need you here with me.
All right, that was Arika Kane here with me. My other daughter just came in now. So they are a fan, and I hope you are too. I'm just going to read her bio so you could really understand that she's no joke in this game. She's been around and she is making moves. All right, Arika Kane, that's with an A. Recording artist, songwriter, producer, and visionary. Songstress and soulful songwriter Arika Kane is one of the music industry's leading pioneers of substance and empowerment. With over 50 Billboard charting positions under her belt and multiple best-selling singles and albums, Kane is ever growing in her accomplishments. Arika Kane is known to many as the VH1 songstress. She has had over 100 placements within Viacom networks on various shows that include VH1, BET, and MTV, with multiple features on shows like Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, and Single Ladies. Kane scored 2 major theme songs on television with her song Make It, that you heard on VH1's TV series Hollywood Exes, which I loved, and Atlanta Exes. In 2014, Arika Kane lit up the international radio with her song It's There, an epic collaboration with legendary Brian McKnight. This timeless ballad climbed the U.S. sales charts, reaching #1 in R&B. It also climbed the Billboard charts, reaching #8 in Billboard sales, and quickly cherished by music fans all genres worldwide. In 2016, Kane released the remix album, which took over the U.S. sales charts, climbing to the #1 position and staying the #1 dance album in the country for 10 weeks. The remix album also charted in Billboard in both Heat Seekers chart and the top 25 dance chart for 8 weeks straight. In the past few months, Kane has appeared and performed on Fox 29 in Philadelphia, Great Day, Washington, Arise 360 TV, Cheddar TV, and at the New York Stock Exchange, DC's TV show, The 202, and at New York City's Dunkin' Donuts Coffee Lounge in partnership with iHeartRadio. Arika Kane continues the rising success with her women's empowerment anthem song and video, Love Makes a Woman, and her latest release, Chains. All Arika Kane's music is available for download and streaming on all digital platforms worldwide. That's a lot. That's a lot. So without further ado, I will introduce Arika Kane to shine. Are you there, my love?
Hey there, love. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful intro. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I got tongue-tied in the beginning. I'm like, okay, relax, relate, release.
Yes, all good.
That's what happens when it's live, Ms. Arika Kane.
Yes. Hey, it's better real, right?
Right, exactly. And like I said, flaws are beautiful. Sometimes I might stumble over my words, but that's not going to stop me from talking.
That's right.
But once again, I thank you so much. Thank you for shining with me this evening. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm happy to shine with you. I'm so happy that I get to connect with you on your beautiful platform. And I just want to say congratulations to you and everything you've been doing, because I've also been following you for many years and just so inspired by all the wonderful things you do, and the fact that you're inspiring so many others as well. So congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you so much, doll. We were talking prior to the show, and we have been, like I said in the intro, friends on social media for going on 10 years. Like
Yes.
you said, watching one another and just really supporting and sending little DMs back and forth. And I love the sisterhood. So I'm really grateful for that, Arika.
Yeah, so am I.
And I don't know if you know this, girl. Your people contacted me probably about 8 years ago. And I was trying to think of the exact year. It was around 7, 8, maybe 9 years ago, to be the, I don't know what you would call it, the Twitter ambassador for Arika Kane's fans. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. We were trying to get some heavy campaigns going. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've been there from the beginning. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And like I told you before the show, I want people, doggone it, to know about you. You know, a lot of people they've heard your voice and maybe your music, or like I talked about in your bio, the theme song to Hollywood Exes or Atlanta Exes, but they didn't know who you were. So guys,
Right.
If you listen to Here With Me, you know, you might have heard that song and said, okay, wait a minute, that's her. It was featured in season 1, the very first Love and Hip Hop, you know, the one with Chrissy and what's his name? Jimmy. That one, yep, that inaugural show. And that's the first time I heard you.
Yeah, that was actually a big deal for me. It was my first musical feature, on TV. And it was in the love scene with Samaya Reese and her boyfriend or friend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pretty good feature because they played my record for a good, 30, 40 seconds. And that's like big for TV.
Yeah.
TV is so fast-paced.
Yeah.
And overnight, I think I had like almost 200,000 views on YouTube, and then like that's really where my fan base started from, was that feature.
Wow.
And it was really cool to see that kind of happen overnight, and then after that, the theme songs were chosen, so that kind of grew it and expanded my audience. But yeah, that's where it all started.
Isn't that something though? And that's something to be said. And listeners, if you're listening to Arika talk about that 30-second feature, which is usually less than that, but they believed in her. They believed in the song, and I remember that scene. I remember looking at that, but it's so funny because I remember the scene vaguely, but I remember the song so strongly. And I remember looking it up like, who is that? Then I saw the video, and you had the little, the guy with the locks in the video. I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this? And I was just like, wow. And then I remember seeing you on Monique's show, on her late night talk show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I remember, and I followed you since then. I was like, who is this chick? You know, who is she? You had that little soft soprano, and you really seemed like, you seemed like you knew music. And I remember in that interview, I said, okay, she's more than just a singer, and she's a woman's woman. And when I say that, I mean like caring about other women, and you're passionate about your art, and you're really trying to make a difference in your art and trying to make changes through your art in song. How important is that to you, Arika?
It's literally everything. It's my main goal, you know, like famous Michael Jackson said, you know, music is the bridge, you know, it's the divine bridge that brings us, you know, healing, brings us together. You know, there's sound frequencies in music that can help to heal, even if it's emotional, you know, something you're going through, or lyrics. It's just divine. Music is divine, and I grew up surrounded with it in my family, and it was just, you know, a huge part of, you know, who I am, how I grew up, and it was like I just knew this is what I had to do. You know, it's what I wanted to be a part of.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Northeast Connecticut.
Okay.
It's like right on the border of Rhode Island and Massachusetts, Killingly, Connecticut, and it's called the Quiet Corner. They call it the Quiet Corner. And very beautiful, loving community I grew up in, and I was very supported in my dreams and everything, which gave me the motivation that I needed. But I knew I kind of had to move closer to the city, you know, closer to New York, in order to, you know, meet the right people, network with the industry, because where I grew up, even though it was such a great support system, there wasn't nothing going on.
Right.
You know? So I had to make the move, you know, to Southern Connecticut to be closer to New York. And that's when I did probably 2 years before I recorded my first album.
Wow. See, and that's the thing. It's so funny because a lot of people out there, they're from small towns or small cities, and they think that they can't make it to a national platform. But you said you were from a small town, and you didn't move from Connecticut. You just moved closer to New York. How important was it to really try to work at your craft and make that dream come true? Or was it even a dream at that time?
Yeah, it was. I was just really determined that I could do this. You know, I felt like it was a purpose, a calling. You know, I was always guided to do it. And once I kind of took that leap, you know, so many other things started unfolding. And I didn't even know, to be honest, I didn't even know I was a songwriter. All that stuff, like, unfolded after I kind of made the leap. And I was like, oh, I can produce. I can write music. And, wow, I can do all these things.
Wow.
So it wasn't until after I made the leap to, like, you know, other gifts started opening up.
Wow. And I know, and that's amazing. And that's what happens. Sometimes we don't know what God has in store for us. All we have to do is take that leap of faith. And when we take that leap of faith, you know, he has what's for us, waiting for us. Being a fairly new artist, and we talked about your premiere or debut, if you will, on Love and Hip Hop, that original season. Being a fairly new recording artist and having your song featured on that breakout show on VH1. How did that even come about? Like, how did you even get in that position to have your song option for that show?
Well, we didn't know.
Wow.
Me and my label didn't know. It was like it just happened. And then later on that day, I was seeing all this stuff on the internet about my record, and I know I had released it. It was a single for me, so it kind of worked out really well. And then I was like, oh my God, my manager called me. He's like, they just featured Here With Me, like a pretty big feature on Love and Hip Hop. And, I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I didn't see it. So I didn't think it was like going to be as big as it was. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then when I saw the, everybody like wanting to find out what it was, and like, overnight fan base, I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And then later on, that's when the creative director from VH1 had said, we really would love to use Make It as the theme song to this new show coming up. And I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Wow. So, but you know what? It's so amazing how that came about, that you didn't even know that it was even being shopped, if you will, for that show. You didn't even know. It was probably someone who loved the song that had, the power to put it in or place it right there in the middle of that love, I guess that love moment, if you will, that romantic moment, because that is, like the kids say, that's a bop, girl.
Yes,
it still is. It really did. Yeah. And after all these years, girl, I still sing it, and because I can't sing. I write, but I can't sing. But I still play that song like it just came out. And that's how I am with a lot of your songs. But clearly, like your fans, TV loved you because your voice was on, like we said, Love and Hip Hop, but other shows, again, like What Chili Wants, Single Ladies, Atlanta Exes, as we talked about, Basketball Wives, and Hollywood Exes, as we talked about, what you sang the show's theme song, and that's what you were talking about. And I'm not a singer, but everybody, I'll read the words because I love the words. And I was like, that's my girl. Wait a minute, because your voice is very distinctive. Life is truly what you make it. Got to learn how to embrace it. If you want, what is it? If you want, you got to fight for, and I'm trying to do it by memory, fight for what you want. To be happy, right? If you want to be happy, yep. And I was trying to do it. I didn't want to be, let me write it down, because I do know that song, and I just remember being proud, even though I didn't know you. Like, I was really, really proud to hear, wait a minute, now they picked her again to do this. And then when Atlanta Exes came, how cool was that they made that call that you talked about earlier to ask you if they could use your song?
Oh, it was amazing. And to be honest, it was divinely guided. You know some things, I've been through tons of obstacles, right? And I've had so many ups and downs on my journey. But every once in a while, there's just like blessings, and that was one of them. And it made me feel so happy, particularly for the theme songs, because it was being used for a show about women who were kind of, coming out on their own, right? The light was shining on these women who were kind of in the shadow of, their husbands or ex-husbands or celebrities. And, they were... It was, it put the light on them, like, wait, we got stuff going on too. Like, we have, we're successful. And so it made me really happy that it aligned with a show like that. So I thought it was perfect.
Right. It aligned right with your mission, what you were trying to do with your music.
Yes.
And it's so funny because the lyrics, I remember as it came on and hearing your lyrics to a song that you already had, it just fits so well. it said it all. Like you said, it was tested. It's so funny because you hear it all the time that it takes 20 years to be an overnight success. And I know you said that you had some challenges. Is this your story? Do you feel that it's taken, and I believe in perfect timing, and I believe everything happens when it's supposed to happen. But they'll see some people and say, oh, well, they have it all together because she was on VH1, or, she had this #1 song with Brian McKnight, which a lot of people would love to have. But you said that you had some trying times. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, where to begin? Well, there's so many levels. Those few things with, having the features were a huge blessing. I'm still to this day so very grateful because it created, fans throughout my career. No matter what I do, I always have the support of people from that original experience.
Mm-hmm.
But soon after that, a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, from being an independent artist is, that alone is challenging because you're kind of up against the politics and the music business, and the music business, even though it may seem large, it's actually a circle, like a tight-knit circle who make all the decisions, right? And everybody's, trying to help each other out that's in this circle, and it's all about, favors and, who you know and who you're connected with, and then, there's the independent artists that, aren't necessarily part of that, sometimes, well, a lot of times, the industry isn't as welcoming or isn't as embracing because, I'm not part of that, inner circle, or that, it's not politically helping each other, right? So we ran into a lot of that. And then something happened that really surprised me because I didn't come from this, and I never really, thought that this was going to happen. But so I dealt with actually a lot of racism inside the music business.
It's so funny. I was going to ask you that. I'm so glad that you're talking about that. I was going to ask you that.
Oh,
yeah.
You knew.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because people are real fickle and funny. People are real funny about what you look like and what kind of music you're singing. But yeah, I want you to really continue with that. And I'm so glad that you're talking about that because there's someone else out there that looks like you and loves the music that you love. And that they're going to, if they haven't faced it, they're going to face it, or reverse.
Right. So yeah, it was within the industry circle, like as I just spoke about. It wasn't the fans. The fans are amazing. I have fans from every culture, every background. I mean, the support is so diverse and beautiful.
That's wonderful.
But yes, but the inside industry is very, very cutthroat. It's not a fun place to deal. But unfortunately, you have to, in order to break the doors down, you have to deal with radio, you have to deal with media. And so I was running into tons of urban radio that they refused to play me.
Wow.
Magazines refused to feature me.
Are you serious? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was even podcasts and interviews about how upsetting that it is for me to be doing the music that I'm doing.
Wow.
I mean, I was blown away by it all because I never come from that place, and to me, music, like I said, it brings people together. Like, that's what it always has done, you know. So it kind of shook my world a little bit because I wasn't expecting it.
Wow. See, because when I was growing up, you know, and I'm not that much older than you, but when I was growing up, we listened to everything. I mean, it was Hall & Oates, you know, Tina Marie. We can go on Duran Duran. I mean, when I think about a lot of people who sang certain music, and if they were white, with Boy George, Culture Club, Simply Red, so many. Those are the ones. Cyndi Lauper, are you kidding? Madonna, you know. So when I think about that, it's so interesting that you're saying this, because I know that it's true, and it's true in reverse also. But it was never like, why is that white girl singing this, or why is she looking like I never thought about it. Like it to me, it was like embracing, like, especially with Tina Marie, like she was one of my favorites. And I'm sure, you know, she had stories to tell, but it's so interesting, because I can believe that some people might like a song, but they might not want to support it. Lisa Stansfield, I'm thinking about a lot of different songs, and artists, but I find that interesting, especially when you came out, that podcasts were talking about you. They wouldn't feature you in magazines. They wouldn't play your music. Like, what does that do to the psyche, Arika? How did that make you feel? Like, come on, you know, like, am I good enough? Like, should I be singing something different? Like, what were your thoughts?
Oh, there were many people in the business that came to me and told me I need to be singing Britney Spears type of music. I have no business, you know, singing with any kind of soul.
Wow.
I have no, you know.
Because soul is something that's natural. You either have it or you don't. So if you had it so clearly, you should use it.
And soul, to me, can be in any genre of music, okay? Rock and roll, gospel.
Right.
Some country singers are the most soulful singers
You're right.
I've ever heard.
And I loved Bonnie Raitt when I was growing up, and Barbara Mandel.
Oh, how soulful are they, okay?
Very.
So, yeah, I mean, it shook me up a bit because, you know, I hadn't seen that part of the business or really that part of the world, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up in a small community. So when it happened, you know, it took me back for a hot minute. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And so many people were like, you should be doing different kind of music. And, you know, you'll sell more, and, you know, like all different angles. And I was just like, you know what? I go by what my soul tells me, and I'm going to continue singing the music and doing the music that, you know, I feel that resonates with who I am. And I was kind of like, bring it on, because my fans support me. You know, people who love music are the people who really get it and understand. So if, you know, people in the industry have issues about it, I'm just going to move around them and keep doing what I love. That's it.
Right. And I'm glad that you had that determination to continue to be you, because that's important. And I talk about that all the time, just as a life coach and as a woman, to really be authentically you. And whoever doesn't agree with that, then that's on them. That's their problem and not yours. And to really shine your star as bright as you can, being exactly who you are, because eventually people will catch on, and then the right people will catch on. And it's unfortunate that you have to work harder or to prove yourself or to really say, hey, this is me. Because when I listen to you, and when I've seen you on interviews, and when I, you know, converse with you on social media, you are a sweetheart. Like, I love you like a sister, you know, and we always, you're so welcome. And I really think that that's, you know, unfortunate, but I'm glad that you continue on. And I'm glad that you continue doing what you're doing. And I commend you for that. And when I think about, you're so welcome. When I think about your song, Love Makes a Woman, it is so interesting because I loved it. But just doing a little bit of research with you, I didn't realize it was a remake and that you made that your own. And it's so interesting. Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea. I had never heard, but it has that feel. It has that vibe. And when I'm in my convertible, I must say, I crank that all the way up. It's just a song. Yes. I do. I really do. I think I put it on Instagram before. But
I loved it.
It's great. So true. Yeah. And it just really, it makes you feel good. It's a feel good song. And when I listen to that, it's like a retro song now, now I know why. How did your audience receive that? Because it was slightly different from what you were doing, but how did they receive that?
Oh, well, my truest supporters, absolutely loved it because it was something different, right? From what I normally do as far as the more modern R&B. Yeah. And I first heard that song on Sirius XM, and it was on like the Motown, I think it was like a Motown or oldies station.
Because it came out in 1968, before both of you and I were here.
Yeah. And when I heard it, I'm like, this song has so much good energy and the message and the soul in it. And Barbara Acklin, who originally performed it, to me, I don't think she got as much, because I am a student of music, right? So I know music from way before my time, and I had never really heard that record until I heard on the radio, and I was like, oh no, this needs more justice. Like, this record, wow. I really want to do this, and I really wanted to make it my own, but also respect, the original essence of what what she brought to it. So, and what's interesting, since we're bringing this all together with what we were just talking about a minute ago, a lot of people in the industry, they couldn't believe that I, came out and did a Barbara Acklin, soulful 1960s record. So it was almost kind of like, yes, this is what I do, and I love what I do. And I actually got a lot of compliments.
Wow. Well, I told you they get on the board. See, and wow, because they probably love that song, and like you just said, that it didn't get a lot of play. And when I heard yours, it already had, so I was like, maybe I did hear it because it had that familiar feel good sound. And I like music too, and it was like, I'm mad that I didn't realize that it was a remake. But then when I heard it the first time from you, I was like, but why does it sound, why do I know the words? This is the first time. Why do I know the words? It's so funny, Arika, because we have 6 minutes left, but I want to continue the conversation. Do you have another 20 minutes, or do you have to?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song, and this is for all the listeners. So I'm going to play a song, and then I'm going to go off, and then I'm going to come right back on in less than a minute. So I'm going to play one of my favorite songs from Arika Kane, because I'm into lyrics, and like I said, I'm into positivity, and Arika doesn't even know what song I'm about to play. But Live From Your Heart. I love Live From Your Heart. My God. So I'm going to play that. Is it really?
Yes.
It just really, I love that. And Arika gave me carte blanche to play my favorite. So I appreciate that. It's typically when you interview someone, they say, play this, play that. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to play that song. And it's going to be dead for a little bit, and then I'm going to come right back on, because my show is a 45-minute show, but it's Arika Kane here tonight, and I'm going to do another show. So just bear with us after the song goes off. Come back to livingtruelivingyou.com to listen, or where all podcasts are played. We'll be right back.
Every time it seems that life's coming down on you, and you always feel like you got something to prove. Well, don't fall for anything that's trying to take the best out of you. You gotta live from your heart. First we have to learn to love ourselves and stop looking outward more than that we have inside, and forgive ourselves and those who have to deal with so much pain. There's really no one to blame, 'cause you can't determine what's right just by the way that you feel it. You don't have to wear a disguise, trust this inner voice that you're hearing. You can have all you want, everything is out there waiting on you. You gotta live from your heart. Even when you're torn and you don't know what to do, stop your world, look inside your heart, and there's a truth. 'Cause we're taught to forget what's inside when everything we always need has been there. Just imagine we can all create with every action and with every word we say. Not anything could ever take away that power that we have. Always remember that, 'cause you can't determine what's right just by the way that you feel it. You don't have